Right, John here. I don't know who's more surprised, you or me. I've stepped in at the last minute, almost literally. Can you just confirm that you can hear me okay? Just type something in the chat, please. Right, okay, I think at first I was muted. So I hope you all had a good Christmas, and hopefully we'll all have a great year in 2018. And there's obviously lots of things coming up, and those will soon be kicking off. Don't forget now, there's only just over 4 days left in the contest, so do make an effort in the last few days, I think, to try and get more referrals so that you can win one of those top prizes, because I think with the new contest that Chad starts in just a few days' time, the odds won't be so good, because there'll be a lot more people entering into that as we move towards the Everfunnel launch at the end of the month of January. So I think I'll try and do this in a similar way to Chad. Now let me get on to Everlesson, if I can, and just post in the group. Right, it would help if I can get the, okay, let's try it this way. All right, going a bit slow, which I apologize for. All right. Right, so are there any people here that would like to connect with me on the call? If so, just raise your hand and I'll switch over to you and let you have your little few minutes of glory. So anyone want to come on the call live? Right, come on. There must be someone that wants to come on the call. Oh, right, let's have a look here and see if there's anyone. Let's have a look.
Hey, Jonathan, Bob here.
Hi, Bob.
Joy has got her hand up.
Okay, let me just find her. I'm not exactly sure where I'm looking here. Oh, hang on. Right, I think I've found it now. Yeah, okay.
I can turn her mic on for you.
Okay, if you would please, Bob, thanks.
Joy, your mic is now on. Are you there?
Yes, I'm very much here. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry about that, Joy, but say I just jumped into this at the last minute so Chad could carry on with his work rather than
Very good of
cancel it.
you. Very good, Jonathan. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Uh, you know, I guess I was too busy over the holidays, so I never get to understand what we're really supposed to do. Can you explain that? Maybe there are some other people like me.
Okay, do you mean for the contest?
Yes.
Right, okay. So if you go into Chad's group in Everlesson, which you're probably in anyway,
Yes,
you'll
I
find,
do. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you'll find a pinned post in there
Yes.
which explains about the contest. Now, briefly, the way it works is you simply share, you sign up, which you just click the button and that will log you in Facebook and sign you up. That will then give you a unique referral URL, which is what you use. And then you can either share that in email or you can share it on Facebook or Twitter or Google, Pinterest. There's LinkedIn, I think even. There's all the little buttons like for that where you can share it. Because of course that's going to earn you points, which will unlock some prizes. For instance, I can't think of his last name offhand, but I know Colin is in the lead with about 60 points, I think, when I last checked. So he's unlocked prizes like for 10 points, 20 points, and 50 points. But there's a whole list of them that go up to like 300 points. So that's one side of it. That's just based on the number of really referrals you get by sharing it. But then that also puts you into the sweepstake draw, which, like takes place probably on the 1st of January, I think. It probably finishes like 11:59 p.m. on New Year's Eve. And then see there's prizes in there, like for instance, the 5-day intensive training in Las Vegas, which is like a $25,000 prize. But then there's other prizes as well, like the agency license for Everlesson, and then there's prizes for the EverFunnels, which launches on the 31st of January. So that's not even released yet, but there's two prizes there. There's one which is for the $297 one-time package, but there's also the upgraded one, which is $297 a year, I believe. And I think there's one other prize but if you just check it out, but that's briefly how it works. So at the moment, there's only, I think when I last looked, about 95 people that have actually entered. That's 95 different people, but people like Colin and Peter Scarfu, who I think is second place. I think Peter's got, I think about 55 points, maybe something like that. So they'll have more entries into the drawing, so they have obviously a better chance of winning. But when you look at the number of prizes and the number of people who've entered, your odds are, really good compared to what they would normally be in these competitions, because often you have, thousands or even 10,000 people enter, whereas, 5 prizes with at the moment less than 100 people is pretty good odds, isn't it?
Oh yes, and I love to gamble.
Yeah. Well, of course, this isn't gambling in the normal sense, because it's not costing you any money, and you're obviously able to unlock these other, trainings and other items as well.
Just kidding, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that the more entries you have, is the better your chances of winning, probably winning everything.
Yeah.
So I understand. That means we just have to get going now.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I'm going to start working at it.
Okay. Thanks, Joy.
Hey,
Bob, are you?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here. One quick question is, when is it the drawing actually going to be for all these entries that people are getting into now? Is that
Right?
as
Well,
I understand it, the end of January?
Yeah. No. Okay. So there's the competition that started on the 2nd. I think it was the 2nd it actually started. We wanted to start it on the 1st, but we didn't quite get it done in time. So that one ends on the 31st of December at sort of like 11:59 p.m. I think Chad will probably be doing the drawing on the 1st. But then there's another contest that starts effectively on the 1st of January, which finishes on the 31st of January. This one's going to be a much bigger one, I would say, simply because it's for the run-up for the Everfunnels launch at the end of the month. And if you look at that pinned post, you'll see that Chad is doing lots and lots of webinars throughout that month, because he's giving access to various programs. He's like going through Facebook ads, and he's doing the membership mastery again, and lots and lots of stuff. But there's obviously lots and lots of people that won't be aware of that, because obviously they're newer to the group, with the likes of you and I that have been here like for forever, it seems, certainly more than 18 months. Then we're more familiar with it. So really, you've got.
Sorry to cut you, but I think that's where the confusion came in with me. Because of that. What's going to be happening January to the 1st to the 31st. So I just assumed that it was the thing. So,
no, because I know what Chad wants to do is, he's probably not going to like when we get to the 31st of January for the next contest, it may well be that he then runs another contest after that. because I know from discussions I've had with him, certainly that's, you know, one of the things he's considering. I think it depends how sort of successful these are, because I'm a little bit surprised personally that there's not been that many, you know, entries so far in the competition like that ends on the 31st of December. I mean, certainly that one, if you don't have the link as well, you'll see it in Chad's Facebook group. I don't know whether, Bob, maybe you can put that link in there for me, which I think is facebook.com/groups/Chad Nicely. I think that's right. But if you could paste that.
I'm sorry, repeat what do you want me to paste? I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Yeah, sorry, Bob. If you could just put in Chad's group.
For Everlesson or for Chad Nicely?
No, for Chad Nicely.
Okay, not a problem.
Because that's got like a post in there with the sign up link and everything for the contest that runs through to the 31st of December. So maybe that will avoid some of the confusion between the pin post.
No problem.
Which,
no
great,
problem.
thanks.
I'll give me 1 second and I will post it in the group.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, now I need to work out.
I can do it myself. I'm
okay. All right. I know there's quite a few questions as well from other people, but let me see if there's anyone else who would like to talk to me or put me on the spot, so to speak. And if there isn't anyone else, then we can move on to the questions. All right, I don't see anyone else at the moment. So let me look at some of these questions, I think, and see if I can answer them. Right, this is a question from Eugene Jackson. I'll just read it out. I think that will be the best bet, and then I will answer it. Right, so technical question. What simple steps may I follow to incorporate a live Google Sheet into an Everlesson membership? We're offering training, education, and investment platforms around the cryptocurrency ecosystem, and members are investing, of which we like to present a bit of a dashboard for their benefit. Have I described a scenario that Everlesson can accommodate? Please advise. Right, okay, so what you might want to do for this, and I can always try and find you the links after the call. I don't think I did one specifically for a Google Sheet, but I'm sure it will work in the same way. But I showed how a few months ago this was. I showed how you can embed a video from Google or a PowerPoint from Google or a PDF from Google into your membership site. And I did a video on that. So that would probably be the easiest way, to do that. I think the only issue you may have is those things, often the ones I've already mentioned, they tend to, be more of a read or a presentation type document, whereas with a Google Sheet, you'd have to make sure that it was like view only, albeit you might allow someone to download a copy, but it's just whether you want them really to have that level of access. So Eugene, if you like to just type in the chat whether you think I've answered your query sufficiently, or do you need more information, albeit I'll try and find one or more of those videos as the example, because it's going to work the same pretty well with whatever document that you use. And this can also work, while we're on the topic really, as a way of embedding a Microsoft, OneDrive or Live Drive, sometimes they call it, document inside of Everlesson. It's just that it's only really suitable, though, for something that you want someone to be able to download as well. Right, so that one Eugene says is okay. Yes, I do look different today, Dave. Right. Well, let's see what other questions we have. Right, well, there must be some more questions that people have. So if you haven't put something in yet, then by all means do take the opportunity. As you know, I'd love to answer some more questions for you, because I think most of you anyway that know me know that I am very knowledgeable on Everlesson. Right, so Linda, I think you have a question. And I'll come back to another question from Eugene after that. So,
Linda, I'm going to turn on Linda's mic.
Please, thanks. I think that's often the best. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Bob.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent.
Now, my question is, in the preview mode on Everlesson, one of my courses won't show. It just says the site isn't available. Now, what would I have done wrong to make that happen?
Right. When you say in preview mode, do you mean?
Yeah. So from the back end in my course dashboard.
Yeah.
When I preview one of my course membership sites.
Yeah. Okay.
It just won't work.
No, well, see, what you need to remember, this is why it's always good to set up a user account as well to view it.
Yeah, I can't access it through that either. It just says the site, but I can edit the site. It's just weird. I've not had this happen before. I can edit the site. I can go back in and change different things. I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't preview it. I can't access the site through either way. And it's only been the last couple of days. I just didn't know. But I thought maybe it's only that one, or maybe it was all of my sites. But that's the only one I seem to have a problem with.
Right. And what browser are you using?
Firefox.
Right. I mean, with the browsers, it's always a good idea to make sure you keep updating it.
Sure.
Because I've certainly seen it with Chrome, with videos, where sometimes, you know, you might have, say, 10 or 15 videos in your site, and there'll be one or two that won't play. But as soon as you update Chrome, you know, that seems to fix it. And of course, with both Firefox and Chrome now, they seem to update them so much. You know, I think sometimes I've seen as many as 3 updates for Chrome in 1 week.
Yes. I actually haven't even tried it in another browser. So I just thought since you were on here, there was something weird about
I mean, the only other thing I can suggest is, you know, like either send it to support or, you know, send it to me and I'll have a quick look at it just to see if there's anything.
Well, in all honesty, I haven't tried too much with it because I just figured it was Christmas and something was just weird about it. But I will try again. I didn't delve into it too far.
No.
Hey, Linda.
Yeah.
Is this a video and is it at S3?
No, it's the whole website. Like, so, you know, the little icon when you go to pick your course that you're going to edit, you click on the eye, and it won't take me. It just takes me to a dead site.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's just weird.
Yeah, so that would be my suggestion anyway. Okay. But, you know, just look at it again, but if you need obviously any help, then you know, then just ask, and you know, we'll try and work it out for you. Probably some little.
I know it's probably something a little glitchy. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be all sorts of things really, and sometimes it's just unique to, like, say, your account, you know, perhaps, rather than it be something that's, you know, throughout the platform. You know, I've seen that a few times when, you know, because often, you know, people, I think sometimes they contact me, so I like have a look at it and then can tell them it's either, oh no, well, you've missed something or whatever, or no, this does actually seem to be, you know, a bug. In other words, I can then confirm it as being a bug, so that hopefully.
Well, it's not a huge deal anyway if it didn't end up working, because it's kind of my sample site that I use to trial out everything, and then I load it into this other one I've been working on. So it's not the end all.
It's still nice, I think, to know, you know, particularly if it turns out to do with something with a setting maybe that's been missed or something like that, because then sometimes, you know, we can do a good job of sharing that with some other people. Though I know stuff, you know, really quickly gets sort of hidden in the Facebook group. You know, it's a bit like a haystack, which is constantly growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and therefore to find the needles or the golden nuggets, you know, unless you search, is very, very difficult.
Yes, if they're titled well, they are easier to find.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jonathan.
All right. Right. Okay. So Eugene was asking about members sending out links of their memberships. Well, you can't send your link. I know Bob has sent a reply to this anyway. But if they have their own link for them, that's okay. But getting them to send out your link really is a no-no in the group, because we want to keep things really on track anyway, and we don't want it to, become overburdened with people wanting to like share all their site links. Some people obviously do that with really good intentions, I think, but then equally, if you allow one person or a few people to do it, you should be allowing everyone to do it, and that would just overtake the group, I think. So that's just reiterating that answer really for the benefit of anyone else that might not have seen Bob's reply. Right, so any more people with questions?
Come on, guys. You got a great opportunity here to ask Jonathan anything technical about Everlesson. Take advantage of it. Either type it into the chat or raise your hand and come on to mic.
And you can ask me, as difficult a question as you can think of, because don't forget that these sort of questions really benefit everyone else. They might not today, but they might sort of next week or in a month's time or something when they themselves face, that issue or something similar. Because there's loads and loads of things that, people do sometimes struggle with, but they're so often very easily to solve. Right, well, Linda is asking about how many members can we have with the basic EL version. That's a tough question to answer, actually, simply because it does depend on when you bought Everlesson or when you first got access to Everlesson. The same as people who, for instance, sign up now, then and are on the 3 packages now that are being offered on the monthly payment, their number of membership sites and the number of members, vary depending on their package, but they are generally lower than someone who has had it, say, since back as far as April of last year. So I think for those people, it's 10,000 members, I believe. I think if you look in your dashboard, it should actually tell you. I don't know whether, this one here, I don't know whether you can see my screen or it's Chad's account, actually. But see, can you see here, obviously Chad's has got the agency, so it shows like he can have up to 40 clients in his account. Overall,
you're not sharing.
Okay,
you're
Bob,
not sharing
thanks.
the screen. The only thing we have is the webcam.
All right, sorry.
Not a problem.
I'm glad you told me. Right, here we go. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Okay.
There we go. It's just coming on.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Yeah, so I'm logged in here in Chad's account. And can you see up the top here, it's got like number of clients. So that's really to do with the agency version. So if you don't have agency version, you won't see that here, and the number will probably be lower because I think 20 is the normal number for clients. But then you've got memberships created. So again, there'll be a figure there of how many memberships you created and how many you're allowed. And then with your registered members as well. So you've got like that first figure there, 3114, is how many members, unique members, he's already got, spread over all these sites that you can see here, and the maximum number that are allowed. Well, I don't think anyone else is going to have 58,000. I think in mine it might be something like it's either 30 or 40, I think, because I've got agency license as well. So that gives me 20 sites with 1,000 members each. And then I think another 20,000 in total for my pro, version of my, if you like, my personal account. So that's certainly where you can see this information if you've got, should we say, the original version of Everlesson, where you have the basic, the pro, and the agency levels. So hopefully that answers that question. And let me see what else. Okay. Yeah, so I think I've answered your question as well about the limit to the number of membership sites that you can create, because that's shown in that dashboard where I've shown you. Right, Darlene's asking a question as well. So if you haven't already signed up, then the SaaS versions, which is the ones where there's a monthly fee of, I think it's 47, 77 or 97 currently, and those figures obviously may well change in the future. But what they've done for those versions is they don't have like the Pro, okay, which we're all paying an annual fee for anyway. But what they have done is given whatever package you have under the software as a service model, they get all the features. So for instance, there's something like 22 items, I think, when I last counted them all, that aren't in basic but are in pro. Whereas if you have the starter, the advanced, or the ultimate, I think are the names of the 3 SaaS ones, you will have all the features. So you will have things like the quizzes, you'll have the the affiliate platform, you'll have enhancements to some things as well. Like, for instance, opt-in pages are in the basic version as well as the pro, but the features are a little bit different. So you will get all those, but say if you're signing up now for Everlesson or like in the new year, then you will get all those features that you would have had in the Pro. Just bear in mind though that some features may in the future be an extra fee, which, you know, like could be a one-time fee, or probably more likely will be, my guess is maybe a monthly, or more likely an annual fee. But those will all be optional anyway. And I'll just answer this as well, because I've seen it a couple of times, is also when you sign up now for Everlesson, because it's obviously subscription based, don't be perturbed when you see that it mentions about 5 years, because you're not signing up for 5 years. You can cancel at any time. That's just the way it works with the various payment platforms, whether it be, you know, Zaxa or JVZoo, is they'll do that for a certain period of time anyway, but that doesn't stop you from canceling it. It's just that you wouldn't want to be, you know, having to reset it up every, you know, 3 months or 6 months or even every year. So that just then means that it's set there and will go for that period of time. But yes, you can cancel it. I mean, it's best if you do decide to cancel, which hopefully you don't, you know, that you probably give about a week's notice, you know, simply so that can be done in a smooth process, and that the payment is then stopped before the next one becomes due, because that then just saves any hassle with, you know, having to process refunds and so on. But I think that's pretty well common sense. So hopefully that, let me just look at Darlene's question again. Yeah, so I think I've answered your question, that if you're under the new SaaS model, then you get all the features anyway for the number of membership sites and the numbers of members that are shown on that pricing page in Everlesson.com. It shows you, like, the main thing is the number of membership sites and the number of members. So generally what you would do if, for instance, you got past, I think it was 1,000 members for the starter, is you would just say that you wanted to upgrade and then pay the extra amount from, like, the point you upgrade to add more members and or more sites. But just remember anyway, those are unique members anyway, so it's better than most of the autoresponders, because with them, if you have, say, 10 lists with 1,000 people in each, then most of them were going to charge you for 3,000 subscribers. They don't sort of take into account that some or all of these might be in several lists, whereas at least with Everlesson, that is unique members. So therefore, even 1,000 members does go a lot further than it would in a typical, you know, autoresponder. Right, question here from my friend Danny, which I think Bob has answered, but I'll just read it out anyway. I have a question. The login page that we use for Everlesson, the one that has the video, will that eventually be rolled out to everyone else? It's a great feature to run all your promos to, which can almost force them to log in. So as Bob says, at this time, no, but I don't think that's a no forever. It's just not in the immediate future, and we'll have to see about that later on.
Okay, so let me just jump in on that.
Okay.
Because that particular login is the login to the back end.
True.
So that's to the your membership management, for all the different sites that you create. The other login is the login to the membership that you've sold, given away, or whatever. And that's just a simple login there. So it gets a little confusing, saying your last little sentence, which can almost force them to log in. Well, if they're going there to log in, I don't think you need to force them to log in. So that shouldn't be an issue. Now, the thing that I see with that is it might be great at some point in the future if they incorporate something like that, where you could put maybe some advertisements or something on that login page. But at the current time, it's not there. And as far as I know, it's not on the roadmap for the short term.
Sure. Thanks, Bob. Right, question from Billy Watson. My course is not HTTPS, so a warning comes up. How do we make it with an SSL certificate? Well, I have my very famous Cloudflare video, which you can just use one of their free accounts. Then you can obviously use the branding to get your SSL certificate. So I can probably send that to you just in a private message, Billy, sometime after the webinar. May not be straight after, because I've got to get back on with Chad once this session finishes. If you don't use the branding, then obviously you can just use your member portal URL, like, I don't know, edb.memberportal.io. And unless you turn the SSL off, then obviously that will give you an SSL certificate. But yes, like you, I probably generally prefer to have my own branded, URL. So that is the way to do it, because when you use, and it's using a feature called the CNAME, and essentially CNAME is a bit like a redirect, and you cannot normally redirect something where you need an SSL certificate, because it won't match up, what is inside of Everlesson and what is assigned to, say, members.mydomain.com won't marry up. But Cloudflare has a way to get around that. And so that really is pretty well the only option, unless you want to spend lots and lots of money, to do it, because it's a matter of having to get the certificate and then give it to the hosting company. In this case, it would be like Everlesson, and they would have to do something on their server. So it's a lot of work, and it's something that often doesn't work particularly well. The second question was, how do you set the support URL? So I think what might be the easiest way to show you that, if I can open up one of these sites here, is it's actually on external pages. So you have to be inside of the membership site. And then if I go into settings and I find external pages, and then can you see you've got support here? So if I go into this section here, inside your page, this is where you can set different things like, and you don't have to have all of these, but like you can put an email in here, you can put a URL in here, you can put a phone number in here, you can put things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also over here, this is sort of like configuring your support area. So you could type some text in here, and then that is what will show on your page when someone clicks on the contact link. Then it will bring this up with as much information as you've put on here, and you can, if you want, add an image on here as well. Recommended size is 400 by 400. I'm guessing, you could all prove me wrong, that 95% of the people on this call did not even know that this existed. Right, so let's see what else we have. Right. Oh, sorry, yeah, Darlene, I know you've got another question here about the quizzes. So at the moment, they just work on a multi-choice. So you can't directly in the question get information, but the way around that, which doesn't help you with the sort of the unlock side of it necessarily, because yes, you can normally with a quiz, you can set like a pass mark that they have to achieve to unlock the next lesson or module. So that obviously is a way of drip feeding it. But what you can do is using the gamification, you could obviously ask or set a task for someone to do. For example, go and create a channel on YouTube and then paste below the link of your channel. Because what you have with the gamification is you can optionally decide whether you want an input from that member. And also you can set it as to whether on submission it's just approved, if for instance they get a badge by submitting that information, or you can make it so it's manual approval only. So you probably wouldn't want to use manual approval for everything, because depending on the number of members and the number of things you have set up here, it could take a really, really long time to do it. So if it's not high value, you might just want to do it on a sort of trust basis, really, and then sort of dip sample a few of the submissions to make sure people are actually complying and aren't just putting in anything and unlocking a badge, and then maybe from there unlocking access to the next lesson. So hopefully that answers that sufficiently for you. So that's another way possibly around it, by using the gamification and setting some tasks which require some answers or feedback, or someone giving you a link to something that they've done, create your opt-in or whatever, and give us a screenshot, that type of thing. So hopefully that answers that. Right, okay, Billy, another question. So let's go for this I need is, okay, I'll read the question, sorry. I tried to add a banner, but I didn't see how I could add the link to it. Where do I do that? So if we go into monetization, and then this might be blank, or in this case, there is a campaign that's been created. So if I go in and, sorry, so if there wasn't a campaign, you would just click on this blue button to create one. But what I'll do is I'll just use this example in here. So I'm going to click on here, click to edit. So that's under action. And then we have different types. Now, this was specifically about a banner, so I'll cover that. This will give you a warning, are you sure any unsaved content will be lost? And that will happen every time you move to a different one of these sections. So we can see that this is turned on. I can deactivate it by just clicking on there. Now, so you add an image. So that actually means uploading the banner into the library. So you would just click on there, and then you would either upload an image, or if you had something already that you'd already uploaded, then you would just need to find it in here. So I don't know, not sure on the size of some of these, so they may not be that suitable. But let's just take a chance with something, I think. I think it will, because it says 500 by 500 is the recommended size. And then you just put in here your target URL. So if this was something on JVZoo example that you were wanting to promote inside your membership site, you would just put the affiliate link in here, and then you can decide where you want this to show, because you don't have to have it show in every product or every module. And indeed, you can also control down here as to which of your custom pages support newsfeed privacy policy and terms and conditions that it appears on. Then, of course, you save it down the bottom. And then that is sort of then ready to deploy. So hopefully that answers your question. And you've got other features here. I won't go over in any amount of detail, but you've got a top bar, you've got related products. So that's where if you use tags and categories, and by that I mean inside here, yeah, I'm not talking about categories inside your membership site. I'm talking about categories and tags for your products. And you can also have a pop-up, it's another option. So, you know, just have a look at any of these really. And you can explore then exactly, you know, how and where you can use them. Right, so let's see if there's anything else. Right, we haven't talked about the employee portal release. I don't know the answer for that, other than to say, I know Chad said a few weeks back that a lot of that code was going to be sort of rolled into Everlesson, so you'd be able to track probably more what people do in the membership site, you know, in terms as well whether they are some, you know, watching things and doing things within a certain time scale or whatever. So that's probably all I can really say about that. Yes, Vicky, I think it was a good guess. There'll be a few people obviously that knew about it, but in general. A good question by Hugh. When are all the support videos going to be done and linked to the play buttons? I can't really answer that to any degree. All I think I can possibly say is I'm working with Jimena on you know, trying to work out, or you know, let her work out the videos that we need the most. It's going to be a really, you know, a really big job, you know, to do. So it's fair to say whatever happens, you know, even if she does agree that, you know, I should do them, because I know Chad really would love to do them himself, but hopefully Jimena has convinced him that, you know, with everything else he's trying to do, that isn't, you know, really possible. And I think in part that's how, you know, I'm here now, you know, helping out with various different things, particularly some of the, you know, technical side of things as well. So I think it's a case of just watch this space in terms of what happens with the videos. And thanks, Joy, for your vote of confidence. She says we need you on more often. Well, I know I'm totally different from Chad, and some people may say I've made a real hash of this, and you know, Chad does it 10 times better or whatever, but you know, at least I did jump in and offer to do it. And most of you know that I do try and you know, be as helpful as I can, but there are only so many hours in the day. So, you know, I do have to sort of limit it. But yes, it is certainly nice to be appreciated. So let me just see if I have any more questions. If I have missed anything, don't be shy in adding it again, because there is quite a lot of stuff in here, and it's possible that you know, Bob didn't answer it. He did do a good job of answering several, or that I've missed it.
There was one more question there from Billy Watson at the toward the end.
Okay.
About the banner. He says, I was trying to add the banner in the create package section. What is the point of uploading a banner there? You see that one?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. So I was trying to add the banner in the create package section. What is the point of uploading a banner there? Right, let me just have a look. So, right. So let's just pick something here. I would pick one without a package. Let's try this one, which I know has got at least one. Huh? Oh, I know what it is. I'm in it's because I'm in a different membership, right? So let's go into a different membership. Let's use this one here once the page loads. Right, so Alright, so you can pick something like this, but see there is no option in here in the create package to obviously add the banner. You would do that, obviously having set it like I showed in the monetization, but then depending what one you've added, you know, where you want it displayed. I mean, for example, I think if we had the top bar as an option, so in top bar actually you've got two places because you've got, so maybe this might, I don't know, this might help you. So if you go in sales pages, you've got the top bar option here. So, and this is separate, if you like, to the monetization. So you could put like a headline in here, button text and so on. You can have a countdown timer if you want it. I've certainly used that on a few people's sites that I've built. And then you can have, you know, the product and like a button URL. So that's, I don't know whether that sort of helps you at all with what you're thinking. Because see, normally it's going to be, let me, yeah, I think I can probably get in here. I'll just log in here. Oh, it would be. Well, maybe, I know it's not going to work fully, but so if I open this, so you could like put something on this page, perhaps like using that top bar as an example. So you could have something up here with a headline, a subheadline, and a countdown, and then like a buy button. But generally speaking, what you'd be doing with the banners is you'd actually be adding them inside here, so that, sorry, that's the sales page. I need to go back to the members bit. Yeah, so if I go back into step one, so normally what you'd be doing is you'd be adding them inside of here, and whatever you've set inside of your monetization. So here's two good examples. So see here you have one that is for a $1 trial by the looks of it. And here you have something to register for Entrepreneur Live. So that's one example of the banners. And then this won't work if I click. Oh, and look, here's your like a top bar thing as well. See, so there's your headline, your subheadline, your countdown timer with this headline here, and then an actual sign up button there. So that's another example. But normally what you could do as well is you could, when you click on these, which I can't do from this page because like it says here, preview mode links are deactivated in this mode. So I can click these as much as I like, but nothing's going to happen. But yes, if I went back, close this, don't know whether I can quite see I might have to do it this way because I can't see the X. But yes, if I went inside one of these, sorry, I'm on the sales page again, which is not what I wanted. Yeah, so if I go inside one of these, oh, and let me just mention this actually, because this is something I've seen probably 3 or 4 times recently. Please remember that live update, which is normally in green like this one here, is only for use with LiveLeap. What I've seen happen a lot recently, well, say at least 4 times, is people actually using this and adding the videos there. You know, so the first video module they want, they rename this and use it. But that isn't the way, you know, you should use it. It is turned off or made inactive in any case by default. So you can really just ignore it and then start with your videos down here. Because I say, this is only for use with LiveLeap, which for those that don't know what LiveLeap is basically a way that you can do Facebook Live inside your membership site. But it does mean, say, buying that product to be able to do that. But what it does as well, just really quickly, is when you do a Facebook Live inside your membership site, when that's finished, if you have the Pro version, it then turns that into a video module in your membership site, and this is then there ready to use for the next time you go Facebook Live. And then it will repeat that process. That's with the Pro version. If you only have the basic version, you still have this in here, but it doesn't turn it into a module. And what will happen is the next time after that you go live, it will just replace whatever is in here. So just bear in mind, this live update is not generally for your video modules. It will allow you to put one in here, but that's not what it is designed for. So my suggestion would be, you know, don't use it that way. And there's a few sites, you know, client sites, they've showed that they've got it, and I've gone, okay, I'll fix that for you, because that isn't the way it's meant to be used. So I thought I'd just touch on it, and hopefully that will benefit some other people on this call. All right, let's have a look.
Okay, so Billy was talking about a different place where it says banners. So if you go to create package and then create a package or edit an existing package.
Okay, I know. Yes, I know what he means. Yeah, those are for affiliate banners.
Right, and
yeah. Let me just do that actually, because then it will be clearer for people. So yeah, so if I pick one of these, for example, and then I go in, let's say, to here. I know exactly what he's talking about, but I'm not seeing that on this one.
It's not on the top level. It's on the one underneath it. So if you go back to your packaged, yeah, you just clicked the wrong edit button.
Yeah.
That was all.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Take the second one down, and that should take you there. The one that says, I can't read it, it's too garbage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm not seeing it there either. Okay, so why don't we just go back to the package dashboard and create a new one? Because that's where I went and looked it up.
Sure. I'll just leave it all on the default. It might be because they're set for free. I wonder. But let's just set something in here.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I bet it's because this probably isn't switched on. Sorry, in settings. So that's, I bet what it is.
It's on the, I'm poking here on mine in one of my test membership, and it's under where you actually create the package as opposed to going into editing it. So I've got create packages, went in there, and then add a package.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking, let me just test this theory out.
Sure.
I'm thinking because if I go in the membership, I'm guessing, and this will see whether I'm right. If I go into settings and I find, I think it's other settings, affiliate settings. Right, so that's off. I'm guessing that when I enable this, oops. No, I don't want as high as that. Let's do it 10. Right, and I'm guessing that when I now go back into here, no. Right, so sorry, what was your suggestion, Bob?
Go to create package. Step, what is it, 2? Step 2?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the button to the far right, don't pick any of the drop downs and just do add package button.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the one to the right.
Yeah.
Far right.
Right.
So if you add a new package. Wow, I'm not seeing it there, and I am seeing it on mine.
Yeah.
So he may have something turned off in one of this, whatever test one that you're in with Chad.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but I know what he's talking about now. That yeah, there's normally another thing here that says banners,
Yep.
but they are just for your affiliate banners, and then you just do. I don't know. I suppose I could try logging out of this one because I know that there's a site that I did that's got a load in. It's just whether I can still log into it or not. Yeah. Don't know whether it, yeah, it looks like it. Right, so this one here. All right. There we go. See, I've got affiliate. I think I needed to add it in another bit as well. That's what it was, a 2 bits I'm thinking. But anyway, here's the banner section. Right, so you can add a banner. So you can choose a size, but equally you can use a custom size, and then you just upload that. Now, this will work when you've done that for affiliates, because it's going to then be tied to their link. And just while we're talking about affiliates, they have to be members of your site to be an affiliate. You can make them a member and not give them access to the product, you know, like say the training or whatever, but they have to be in your membership site for you to then be able to give them a affiliate link. And they then be able, if they were logged in, they would see the banners on their dashboard, and it would then give them whatever their link was for that product if they're approved for it. So yes, you're right, there isn't anything in here with a link because this is just the banners. But when the member, because they'd be logged in as a user, I don't know whether there aren't any in here or not, because I think Kevin, this is Kevin Green's site. I think he is using Thrivecart now, so I probably won't. See, I'm not seeing any option down here in the footer, which is where you do tend to see it, for affiliate link. And I know some things he's turned off in here anyway. Yeah, so I'm not going to see that in here. But normally you would have it down the bottom. It would say, you know, like affiliate link or affiliates. And then when they go in there, they can see their approval, assuming they are approved, or they can apply for approval for their affiliate link in Everlesson for your membership. There's one for what I call a funnel, which is going to be all your products, but then also there's one for individual products as well. So maybe that's something we should cover in more detail on another call, because I know we've been going almost an hour and a half now. Let's see what else. Okay. Yes, you're right, Bob. We should think about wrapping it up. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending. I hope you all got some value out of this. And, you know, maybe Chad will consider, matter for him totally, of having me, you know, do maybe once a month or something, a webinar similar to this. But I'll let Chad contemplate that and, you know, make his own mind up. He might think I was a total failure, but yeah. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you again on another call. And thanks as well to Bob, of course. Bye for now.